Take some time to explain market conditions to your seller. So, for the sake of this discussion, there's three basic types of markets, and each of those markets are going to come along with their own set of challenges that are going to be challenging for both buyers and sellers. And so, at the beginning, there are a buyer's market, right? So, a buyer's market is when sellers are competing with each other in order to look really attractive to buyers. This means that sellers are competing. In a seller's market, buyers have to compete with each other in order to get the sale. And then number three, in a balanced market is when buyers and sellers are competing with each other, which means they both sides have to compromise to come to some sort of an agreement. Each of these markets has its own challenges. And so let's go back to buyer's market. In a buyer's market, the seller who is the most attractive to the buyer is going to get their home sold faster. By definition, that means that there's a lot of supply of homes on the market, usually more than 6 months. It means potentially that prices might be declining in that market. It means that cancellations might happen because of inspection contingencies and other things that come up during the course of the transaction. Even after the paperwork is signed, that doesn't mean it's done. And then cancellations might happen because of a lack of market urgency. So in a declining market where prices are going down, and if there's any sort of a hiccup at all in your transaction, the buyer's going to maybe take a pause and say, gosh, is this really worth it? Maybe I should just, withdraw my transaction, withdraw my signature, cancel the transaction, and, maybe I'll be able to pick this home up for more later, or I certainly don't want to close on this house and then all of a sudden, 6 months later, have it be worth less than what I paid for it. A seller's market is when buyers have to compete with each other. And usually this sort of market is characterized by an inventory that's going to be probably like 3 months or less, which means that if no more homes were listed today, it would take 3 months to get through the inventory. Sellers markets are complicated for buyers because buyers might have to write offers above list price, and they might also have to write offers that don't include contingencies or contingency periods. They might have to waive their appraisal contingency. This many times makes buyers really anxious and really nervous because they get frustrated. They might be writing more than one offer on many properties, and then their offer is not the most desirable, and as a result, they don't get the property. So working with these types of buyers in that type of a seller's market is complicated. I'm sure we've all experienced that. A balanced market is going to have probably between a 5 and a 6 month supply of homes. The average time that the home is on the market is probably going to be somewhere around 80 days to 90 days, maybe 120 days on the market. Both sides have to bend and compromise in order to get the transaction finished. Why are we taking the time and the effort to explain this to our seller? The answer is really simple. As a real estate agent, as a broker, as a realtor, you have to be able to disconnect your performance with what's happening in the general market. And here's why. You're not responsible for what's happening. So a lot of realtors will speak in the first person and they'll say, I think your home is worth this amount. I think this and I think that, and I think it'd be best if you did this. I think it'd be best if you did that. So what this does is kind of sets you up for a potential problem. You're taking more responsibility for market conditions than you need to. I don't know a realtor on the planet who's responsible for market conditions. What you're really responsible for is educating buyers and sellers around what's happening in the market so that they can make informed decisions based on what's happening in the overall market condition. I know that we all want to be able to provide value to buyers and sellers, and particularly when we're dealing with sellers and we start throwing out estimates. Well, I think your home is probably in this, here or there. I think your home is probably about this price range. I think that we should list your home in this amount. So you have to tell them something, and we're going to get to that. But at the end of the day, I need you to make a real good explanation of what's happening in the market. The sellers have to understand in a buyer's market, sellers are competing with each other. So if something's not going well, I might make a statement like this. The way your home's currently positioned, it's not competing well with other sellers, as opposed to saying something like, gosh, I need a price reduction because you're overpriced. Your home is out of alignment with market expectations. Given what's happening in the market today, your home is out of alignment with sellers or buyers' expectations. Those types of statements are more informed consent statements. What you're doing is you're educating your seller, you're educating your buyer, and in this case, within the construct of the listing presentation, what you're really doing is saying, gosh, I am here to help you navigate these market conditions. I'm not responsible for the market conditions, but I am an expert in these waters. I've walked down this path before. I know exactly what to do. Here's what we need to do to make your home very attractive. So even in a seller's market where a seller could just put their sign in the front yard and maybe sell their own property, the truth of the matter is, are they going to maximize the value? Are they competing well? Are they competing well in the market? Are they performing at the highest level they need to? Even though a seller might be able to sell their own house and save the commission, are they going to maximize the amount of money that they're putting in their pocket? You have to find a way to have a compelling argument to defend your commission. And it's not just about getting the house sold or putting a sign in the front yard. It's about, how's this paperwork going to get executed correctly? How are these people going to be safe from the beginning and the middle and the end of the transaction? How many people try to sell their own home and then end up in some sort of a lawsuit for a lack of disclosure or non-compliance at some point in the future? Take some time and really educate yourself in terms of what type of market you're operating in, and also start identifying when those markets start to shift a little bit. You can identify it by going into the MLS and looking for average days on market and looking for the total amount of inventory that's in the market. That's total available number of homes. This number varies depending on where we are in the cycle. And if you can understand this, that when you speak intelligently about this, your seller is going to understand you have a command of the market, you understand how to navigate in a specific market condition. And again, most importantly, you're not responsible for market conditions. What you're responsible for is helping that individual seller navigate their own challenge within that market construct. Please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget, visit our website and schedule your free 30-minute evaluation.